Turn that thing down.
What did you want Steve for?
Oh, I didn't want him myself. I was just trying to find him for Miss Graham and her brothers. I think that if they question him closely, I may hear something that's worth money to me.
Sort of a $64 questioning?
Oh, it would be much more expensive than that. Well, I'll run along. If you see Steve, call me immediately.
All right. You can come out now, Steve.
Thank you, my dear.
Oh, you poor dear. Did you hit your head again?
No, quite the opposite.
Yes, Steve, boys. Grab him.
We'll grab him, all right. This time he won't get away.
Oh.
Sit on his head, Muscles. I got everything else under control.
Cut it, hold it.
What?
Now, Mr. Stevekins, just when are you going to start keeping them promises you made to Linda?
Well, I hardly know what to say.
I'm listening, Steve.
So am I, Steve.
Well, that is, if you fellas would get up off me, I'll be able to do some thinking.
And what would you think about?
How to get out of here.
You take one step toward that door, and I'll knock you 8 blocks.
Good. That's right near where I live.
Did you find him, Ralston?
Yeah, Donnelly.
Where is he?
Right under Muscles and Iron Man.
You ain't answered our questions yet, Stevekins. When are you going to start keeping them promises to Linda?
Do I have to answer that?
If you don't, you lose.
If I do, I lose.
Come on now. Come on. Quit stalling on me and Iron Man are really going to get rough.
What time is it, Gwen?
I don't know. What time is it, T.T.?
Oh, about 3:30.
3:30. It was 3:30 before I crawled under that bed.
Your watch lies worse than you do.
When you hear the tone, it will be exactly 4 p.m.
Did you and Donnelly hear what I just heard, Ralston?
We heard.
Stevekins, if you don't start talking in a hurry, you ain't going to be able to talk.
You and Donnelly realize that 24 hours are up, don't you, Ralston?
We're late.
That's all I wanted to know.
Are you going to start talking?
Any time, now that it's 4 o'clock, what do you want me to tell you?
Will you promise to marry Linda?
Of course.
And will you promise to give us, her, them diamonds and penthouses and limousines?
Why, my boy, I was only joking before. I promise you anything I've got.
Steve, what about the promise you were going to make to me?
Now, just be patient, my dear. I'm just warming up on these people. I'm going to promise you the world. I'll show you the Taj Mahal, the pyramids, my etchings.
Oh, Steve, I think you're wonderful.
You do?
Yeah.
Well, then I think I'll show you the etchings first. Gee, Gwen, I can hardly believe that a beautiful girl like you could be interested in an old beaver like me. What is it about me that swept you off your feet? Is it my financial genius?
No.
Is it my overwhelming charm?
No.
Then what is it?
Haven't you heard? There's a manpower shortage.
Thank you, Lucille Ball and Frank Morgan, for appearing with the Lady Esther Screen Guild players tonight.
That was our pleasure, Truman. The Motion Picture Relief Fund, which benefits from these performances, is very important to all of us in the industry.
That's true, Mr. Morgan. We're all vitally interested in the Motion Picture Relief Fund and the country home and clinic which it supports. And now, here's a word from one of our best-known beauty authorities, Lady Esther.
Thank you, Miss Ball. The unusual texture of Lady Esther face powder covers your skin like a delicate film of beauty, hiding little lines and blemishes.
Before we hear about next week's show, Lucille Ball would like the attention of every young woman in our audience.
If you're between 18 and 35, a high school or college graduate, and in good health, there's a special opportunity open to you, an opportunity for war work with a future as a nurse. Our Army and Navy and war plants are taking thousands of trained nurses. 65,000 young women are needed now to start nurses training this spring. I urge you to get the whole story. Just write to Student Nurses, Box 88, New York City. That's Student Nurses, Box 88, New York City. Don't put it off, please. Write tonight. If you live in Canada, apply to your nearest hospital.
Next week, the Lady Esther Screen Guild players will present Johnny Eager, starring John Garfield, Carol Landis, and Robert Page. Be sure to listen. Nothing But the Truth has been presented through the courtesy of Paramount Pictures, whose current production is China, starring Loretta Young, Alan Ladd, and William Bendix. Frank Morgan can now be seen in the human comedy. Lucille Ball will soon be seen in DeBerry Was a Lady, both Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer productions. Music on tonight's program was arranged and conducted by Wilbur Hatch. The Screen Guild players are presented every Monday night at this time by Lady Esther. To save materials, buy the larger size of Lady Esther face cream. Truman Bradley speaking for Lady Esther, saying thank you and good night.
This is the Columbia Broadcasting System.